I will die on that hill.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this.
Love this show.
The sickest night ever.
Is this? What are we doing?
No. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunner, also known as Chico Noise, a three-time podcast host. Alongside me, as always, my good friend Juan Keel for three, or as everybody likes to call him, Colton. He's just Colton. Or
That's right.
sometimes he is Vanilla Thunder. Nobody does it like the Emperor, that's for sure. But
Oh my.
yeah,
The Emperor.
The Emperor.
Something.
The Emperor is running these shows like a pro. This is our episode 70, if you could believe it. We are just trucking along through episodes, man. It has been a blast so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad all the listeners are here listening to us every week. Recurring listeners, new listeners. If you're new to the podcast, send us an email, thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know who you are. We'd love to read your email off. We'd love to talk to you. But I'm glad to be back this week. Doing a little bit of one of our 5-part series that we were doing the rest of year 2, and just continuing on with those. And I'm ready to talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. But first, Colton, how's it going?
Man, it's going. It is going. Surviving. It's about it, man. It's work, kid. Finally got the baby room painted. We got that going for us. So.
Yeah. Yes, I sent you guys a picture of our nursery, and Bree's reply was, "Your nursery looks a lot better than ours."
It's because we hadn't started it.
And that's okay. We were a little ahead of ourselves, I think. We're pretty much done with everything we want to do for now. Until the baby shower,
Good.
until all that's done. I'm done. We did our IKEA shopping trip and got some of the things that we wanted for the room that we wanted to build and put in there, a little dresser and changing table. And we got a couple other things we want to throw in there, but wait for the baby shower, get that over with, and then attack the rest of it. So
good.
But yeah, so you're same old.
Yeah, man. Nothing really changes too much. Getting ready to go to a concert here in a couple weeks. So
your brother's concert, right?
Yes, I am. I'm convinced that I'm from this dude's village. I'm convinced.
It could be. Yeah, you guys definitely look alike.
So
A little
going
bit
to see Ed Sheeran.
Yes.
And Soldier Field. So pretty pumped about that. Going to be a good show.
Oh, would you rather see Ed Sheeran there or watch the Bears play there?
I would rather watch the Bears play.
Oh, you will love Ed Sheeran. That's going to be one of the best live concerts besides maybe Blink-182. But I have a feeling he's going to be really good live, and I bet you'll enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I just know I won't be spending the same amount on merch that I did at the Blink show.
Nothing wrong with that. Does he have a shirt with my face on it? Because we look just alike.
Hey there, Ed. Let me talk to you real quick.
Yeah. Go say hi to him and shake some hands and get some.
Hey, Ed, let me show you how to play that instrument you got there.
Oh yeah, and imagine the things he could teach you in just 5 minutes of sitting down with him. I mean, that would be. Oh
gosh, I probably wouldn't retain it.
No, there's no way. He'd be like, "Oh, this is how I loop things." He'd be like clicking buttons so fast. He'd be like, "What are you doing there? What are you doing?" And then next thing you know, you'd be going to Sweetwater and getting a loop pedal.
I've got a loop pedal
on your new little controller you got, huh? Or you have an actual loop pedal?
I have an actual loop pedal, yeah.
Oh, nice. Why don't you use it?
I'd have to set it up and find it from the move. Still,
it's in a box somewhere. How long you been in that house?
About 6 months.
Oh my gosh, has it been that long?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, you know?
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
I'll break it out.
That makes a lot more sense now. Both wives are either in their 3rd trimester or almost to their 3rd trimester, so babies are on the horizon at this point. They're looking like the Teletubbies cloud.
We are slowly getting towards the home stretch.
Yeah.
We are getting there.
October will be here before we know it, everybody. And I don't know if we've really talked about this with the listeners, but Colt and I are probably going to take a 3-week hiatus and possibly have a quarter books and booze on to take over some episodes.
I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want that those jokers cut rate performances to run our ship straight into the ground.
You know what we
Really?
should do is we should have Skylar do an episode with quarter books and booze, and then we should have him have some guests on and just do talk with some buddies about whatever he wants to talk about. I think that would be kind of interesting concept, him to talk about some of the movies he loves, because his movie taste is definitely on a different level than ours. I mean, we are into action, superheroes, musicals, whatever. He's on a whole different level, so likes a lot of the same movies. But
Do we really want to submerge our
yes,
faithful followers and listeners to the Skywalker and his antics?
I think so. I think they would enjoy it, to be honest.
Well, he's gonna have to answer his phone or something.
I know, yeah, Skywalker, I tried calling you, and you didn't answer.
Yeah, what's up with that?
What's up
with that, bro? Bro, what's up with that? I'm right here. Right here. I'm a man.
Yeah, exactly. I will say that I'm going to spend the whole weekend with the Skywalker this weekend, and I've spent my whole evening. I recorded a episode of the Golden Odyssey with the Emperor earlier this evening, and it was absolutely fun. He actually interviewed me, so I'm not very interesting, but I mean, it was a fun interview, and we got to talk about some things that even our listeners don't know. So when that episode comes out, I will definitely be plugging that, so you all know to go listen to it. But we have a camping trip this weekend that's been planned for a while. We're going to do a float and do some primitive camping for the whole weekend, and hang out with my brother and a bunch of his buddies and my brother-in-law, and just have a good chill weekend. And so I've spent my whole evening tonight, other than recording that, packing stuff and getting stuff ready. And luckily my wife is like, hey, you need this, don't forget this. Okay, so I'm taking my griddle with me, so I got all that seasoned up and cleaned up, and it was like, what all do I need to cook on this griddle? So she's like handing me utensils, like, here's a can opener. Like, I wouldn't have thought of a can opener. She just handed it to me. You might need it. Take it. Okay, you got it. So she's on top of it for me, and I'm a little scatterbrained with it. But so yeah, we'll be down camping this weekend and get to spend some much needed brother time, because I've not spent a lot of time with my brother lately. So this should be fun. I'll let y'all know how it goes next episode.
Right on.
Yeah. But speaking of the Skywalker, we do have a couple emails, and one of those emails is from the Skywalker. So I'm actually gonna let you start with that email, and then I'll take the second one after that.
All right, Skywalker. This one's titled, Gunner must be a garbage man because Colton is trash. Good start. Good evening, call dudes. Gunner specifically requested my top 5 video games. I appreciate you listening to him, brother. Number 5. Forgive me. I almost jumped the gun and just said.
You didn't even say the video game.
I just worthless. Oh, yeah, okay. Number 5 is Minecraft. So many worthless hours are put into this game, and I wouldn't change any of them. One of those games that I have played heavily for 2 months every year before I get burnt out and can't look at it for another 10 months. The cool thing now is Aspen absolutely loves it, and it's so much fun to watch him jump into creative mode and destroy whatever world I made 10 years ago. Man, that would suck.
Yeah, all that work you're watching just blow up with TNT.
Oh my. Number 4, Pokemon. This is my big nostalgia pick. I have played almost every Pokemon game, really enjoyed the most recent release of Scarlet and Violet, but my heart belongs to Sapphire. I maxed out the internal clock on that game. Dang. Number 3, we have Destiny 1 and 2. Little 2-for-1 action here. So many great memories with these games. The late night raids make this pick for me. Whatever group I was raiding with would literally stay up all night. It took us months to beat the original raids in Destiny. Sadly, there isn't enough time for me to play anymore. And he happens to send 2 screenshots of his total playing time. I just I didn't know you could have almost 1,400 hours of game time and only have one of those hours be quote unquote wasted time.
It's
Wow,
insane. It's
that's
insane.
insane. That's crazy. Absolutely ridiculous. Anywho, number 2, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This was the first
Kotar.
real RPG game that I ever played. It gave me a love for amazing storytelling. The plot twist towards the end of the game still blows my mind.
Yeah, used to watch him play
Honorable.
that a lot.
Oh, he wouldn't let you play.
No,
He,
nope. I never got to play. He just played. It was okay.
I believe that. Honorable mentions: the Halo franchise, GTA, Vice City, and Kingdom Hearts. We are at number 1 now. Mass Effect franchise. Guys, I love these games. I understand that, oh gosh, Andromeda, I want to
Andromeda.
say, yeah, Andromeda wasn't a great game, but the first 3 are incredible. Mass Effect 3 might have been given a lot of hate because the ending was rushed, but when you have a parent company like EA who makes developers push things before they are ready, or just put paywalls on everything, you are bound to have some misfires. The story is amazing. The graphics were great at that time. The gameplay in 2 and 3 were incredible. This is the game series that I wish I can go back and play for the first time again. What an experience. That's the beauty of
It is.
video games.
Yeah, it is Andromeda. It's Andromeda. I think he had a little typo there.
Sure, whatever. As always, suck it, Colton. Love you, brother. Skylar. Skywalker, thank you so much for sending the email to callguyspodcast@gmail.com. Appreciate you. I think we
feel
need
like
to get you back. We need to get
we
you back
do.
on the pod.
Yeah, I was
We
just about to
do.
say that. I feel like we should get him back on.
Because I can't take this blasphemy from across the keyboard. I'm tired of the keyboard strength from him.
Yeah, keyboard strength. He's a strong man behind that keyboard.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Gunnar, do we have any other emails?
We do. I did want to mention that Mass Effect was like one of those, like it's space horror, right? It's jump scares.
Oh yeah,
And it's so fun to watch. And it's one of those, once again, I watched him play it. I never played it, and Ice Republic was the same way. And I just loved watching him play those games because they were exciting. But
yeah. So back to my love of Call of Duty Zombies. The creators, the guys who did Mass Effect, actually made the zombies mode for Call of Duty Vanguard, and it was quite possibly the scariest zombies game ever created. It was terrifying.
but you played it.
I did, but I
Without your
did not
blankie?
play it. I did not play it very often.
Yeah. No, I
Replayability was low for
understand.
me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of jump scares. I was watching. There's a game out there called Granny, and it's a jump scare horror game, and
Oh.
it's one of those escape the house kind of games. Find all the stuff, do all the challenges, and escape the
Yeah.
house without getting killed by the grandma. And it's one of those where you like turn in the dark and she pops up. And, yeah. Not a fan of those. Not a fan at all. But yes, we have it. We have another email, and it is from ISOCAM.
What up, Cam?
Back again. Here we go. It says questions and video games. I think I could probably go up to a month with no electronics interaction. I'm somewhat of a country boy, but any more than that, I'd probably be looking like Paul Pierce exiting on a wheelchair.
I'm sorry.
If
I know you don't.
I
I know
didn't get
you
the
don't
reference,
understand
but-
that reference, but
okay.
the real question is did you poop your pants or not? ISOCAM, let us know at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. You'll get that reference.
And I won't, so it's okay. So he does put his top 5 video games, and
Let's hear it.
number 5 is Left 4 Dead, another game I used to play over and over again with my friends and getting scared by those witch zombie variants. Sheesh. Number 4, Ultimate Spider-Man PS2 game. Talk about a perfect entry into superhero video games for me. This game was a masterpiece. Number 3, he has MW3, by far my favorite Call of Duty. Most people had Black Ops, World at War, MW2, but for me, I woke up an hour early before school to play MW3.
Dang.
See, MW2 was the Call of Duty I played, and it was all about the intervention and high-rise quick scopes across the map. Me and Lucas and Jared just 1v1.
Oh,
It was always a blast.
man.
Number 4, he has Spider-Man PS4, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yes, both make me cry, especially the Miles one. No spoilers, but the end hits like King Kong pounding your tiny human chest. It's a nice,
Dang.
nice. And then number 1, the NBA 2K series as a whole. Me and my friends have competed every year, no matter how awful 2K gets, and it's just amazing with friends. Have to enjoy while it lasts.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Yeah. It's I feel like that is a game a lot of friends. Like any of the 2K games, right? Like I've never gotten into sports games. Played a lot of PGA, Tiger Woods, PGA Tour, Rory McIlroy when it came out, and then when they came back with the new version of the golf games. But yeah, I never got into Madden, never got into 2K or anything like that. Just never enjoyed it.
I actually know a guy that actually has a Madden a Madden fantasy league where they get the new game and then they pretty much do a fantasy draft for their entire team with the current roster that's out. And then they
Nice.
play a like a dynasty mode
Nice.
like through that, and you play against other real people to get through the season.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
pretty neat.
Maybe we should do something like that. Maybe we should start playing video games again. Who knows? We don't have time for that crap.
Gunnar, yeah, brother, you're about to realize how much time you got.
Colton, we're gonna have to cancel 10 episodes in a row. No, I'm just kidding. That's not gonna happen.
Man.
He has honorable mentions: GTA 5, Gears 2 and 3, Star Wars Battlefront 2. He has the I think it's Iden version and Finn Main, Dead by Daylight, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Path of Titans, Dinosaur Simulator from baby to adult. Stopping here, I could go on and on. And I'm glad to hear you're a gamer, so maybe that can be part of a conversation when we finally get you on this podcast. So, and then his favorite console is Xbox by far, but he currently owns a PS5.
I almost made the switch about 6 years ago. I almost made the switch just because I felt like PlayStation was making better games and doing better things, and
Yeah.
but I never did.
I mean, obviously, my dad owned a PlayStation 1, played that. And then I owned a PlayStation 2 Slim, and my cousin owned multiple PlayStation 2s. And then when the PS3 came out, he owned multiple PlayStation 3s. And I stopped there. I picked up Xbox, but I've actually thought about getting a PS5 just to play the Spider-Man games because
Yeah.
they are phenomenal looking, like fun to watch. But yeah, thanks for the emails, guys. I mean, it's fun to read them. Glad you guys
Oh,
reached
yeah.
out and let us know what your games were. Skylar, thanks for really listening in and answering my question, because I know your love for video games is why I love video games. So, and if it wasn't for video games, there would be no Call Guys podcast. Just saying.
Oh my.
But yeah, so there you
Oh,
go.
my.
There's that. I don't really have any announcements as in like stuff coming out, anything like that. We're trying
What?
to
Oh, what? You didn't see today? You didn't see a movie poster today about a
no,
movie that comes out next August,
no,
2024?
no,
Borderlands, baby.
no.
Yeah.
What? How did I miss
Yeah.
that?
They released it probably around 3 or 4 today.
All right. I'm gonna have to go look at that poster. I'm gonna have to go check it out.
It's nothing fancy. It's nothing fancy, but it does give the actors and actresses in it on the top.
1 second while
Yeah,
I look
you
here.
look it up, man. We got Barbie and Oppenheimer
Yeah,
coming out this week. I'm super pumped for that. I think date night's gonna be Barbie, so I'm super pumped for date night. I think I might be seeing old Spider-Man soon, so I got that going for me.
That's
So
right.
Cam, we might be able to get to that episode sooner rather than later, brother.
As we should.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to filibuster here until we get there. Skylar, suck it.
No, you're good. I actually can't find a decent picture of the poster right now, so I'll have to look when we get off of here. But
oh my gosh, do you want me to just send it to you? I'll send it to you.
yeah, do that. Do that. Send it to me because I'm sure you screenshotted it to send it to 100 people. No, I'm kidding. That's interesting to me.
Old Twitter, man. Old
Yeah.
Twitter, baby.
That's very interesting because we literally just talked about how much, those games were amazing, right? And there you go. We're getting a freaking movie. Nice.
Yeah,
Kind of
because everybody can see that.
kind of lit up, but it looks cool. Yeah, so let's see. A couple weeks ago, Colton and I did an episode where we did Let's Talk About James Bond. It was our 007 episode for our 5-part character series. And this week we wanted to continue on that series, and hopefully here in a few weeks we'll get back into the actor series and do another actor for you guys. But this week we're going to talk about a character that everybody knows and loves. And if you don't love this character, then I don't know if you were.
I'd love for you to let us know at
Yeah,
thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com
I don't want
because
to offend anybody, but you were under a rock, man.
we are going to fight.
Yeah. This character made his debut in '97 with the Philosopher's Stone, the novel, the book. I guess what do you call a children's book a novel? I guess it kind of is a novel. And then let's see, when did Deathly Hollows Part 2, the movie, come out? I mean, I don't have that up on my thing here, but
man, that came out in 2011. Yeah, 2011.
Sounds right. So yeah, a little over 20 years. 20 years? No, that's bad math, dude.
10 years. 10 years.
A little over 10 years of Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Gosh, 20 years.
20 years. I gotta wait. Hey, I've been busy. I've done 4 podcasts in the last 2 nights, and I'm ready for a nap. Don't yell at me. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It's okay. No, but yes, a little over 10 years of Harry Potter, one of my favorite characters that's been on the screen. Haven't read the book since I was young, and don't actually plan on ever going back and reading the books because I'm not much of a reader anymore. But I've always enjoyed Harry Potter, and I know Colton has too. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the books, the movies, adaptations, and a little bit of some other stuff that I think is really exciting. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Get into it. So tell me a little bit about Harry Potter, Colton.
I think one of the most interesting things, I knew you were going to grab your dang wand. I think one of the things that really draws me to the Harry Potter series is that it is a series about good versus evil, and about how evil does everything in its power to try to win, but good prevails the entire movie just by being good. And that's what I love the most about this series as a whole, is that he really doesn't change who he is and what he does. Like, even though he's been through so much, he still is loyal. He's a good friend, tries to be a good person, and he wants what's best for others. And he's that way through the entire series. And I just love that. I feel like it's a real great story to teach about good always prevailing over evil.
Yeah.
And I just think that this series did a fantastic job of proving that. Now, were there hiccups along the way? Of course there's hiccups along the way. That's life. So, I mean, to me, that's what really drew me in to this series, in this book, because I grew up with them. I mean, these people are my age when they're going through these things. I mean, I remember the first movie coming out, and we had kids missing Little League baseball practice to go see the movie. And I thought, man, like, no movie is worth skipping baseball practice. Like, what are you doing skipping baseball? Like, and I mean, I got started late, but I mean, once I was in, I was hooked.
Yeah.
And just fantastic. The movies are great. We talked about it with Books and Booze when we had them on way long ago. This is my favorite books to movie adaptation because this is the first time that I read the books. I watched the movies, and the movies made me want to go read the books.
Yeah.
And that's what I love so much about it, is that it made me want to go read the books. And to me, that's why it's my number one adaptation, because they just talked about in the Hunger Games, the first movie, you don't have to read the book if you watch the first movie,
It's that
because
similar.
it's that similar, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love that. That's great. But in the Harry Potter world and in the books, there is so much that is not said and done. So many backstories that are so cool to see, and they might be little tiny Easter eggs in the movies, but in the books they're important,
Yeah.
and you don't get that in the movie. So it's almost like you're getting like you're getting the steak and potatoes with the movies, but you're missing out on the side dish and the side salad in the
The peas
dessert.
and carrots.
Yeah. So I mean, I highly encourage anybody who hasn't read the books but have seen the movies, go read the books. If you haven't read them, go read them, because they are fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, if you really think about it, stuff that gets adapted for a reason. That the predecessor to movies or vice versa is a good story or has great content. And that's the reason that these things get adapted. And Harry Potter is one of those things. And J.K. Rowling just killed it.
Oh
And
yeah.
her being a part of the actual adaptation is also why the movies killed it and did so well. Um, but yeah, so 97 was The Philosopher's Stone, 98 Chamber of Secrets, 99 Prisoner of Azkaban, 2000 Goblet of Fire, 2003 Order of the Phoenix, 2005 Half Blood Prince, and 2007 Deathly Hollows. Those are the books and
Those are the
the
books
years they came out.
releases.
And yeah, to me it's actually more. I didn't really think it was 10 years, but that's pretty wild to me because I remember growing up, my grandma had all of the books.
Ooh.
And I guess I was thinking I was like really young when I saw the books there, but no, yeah, it must have been, I would have been 12 at the point Deathly Hollows came out, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, and that's where I first read, The Philosopher's Stone, which um going back that far, I don't really remember the books that much, but I would love to really. I don't know if I don't want to read them again, but I would love to just
Oh man, you should
do some
read them.
spark notes or something.
You should read them, brother.
You mentioned the adaptation and how they miss things, right? And you go back and you're gonna get snippets from the books that weren't the movies that were Easter eggs, and we read or listen to Lord of the Rings, and it's the same thing.
Oh,
There's so many things that happen in those books that were not in the movies, and it's almost frustrating because there are characters that I love that didn't get to show up, and we're gonna do episodes on Lord of the Rings and an episode on Lord of the Rings coming up here in the near future, and I feel like Harry Potter, like you nailed on the head. It's the same exact way. It's you're missing things that should be there that you want to be there. I'm sure characters and little
so
aspects.
I'll say this. I am not as out. Okay, so for blowing this out of proportion, the outrage that I have for the books to movies adaptation for Harry Potter and for Lord of the Rings are not the same. I am in more of an outrage that Lord of the Rings did not do a better job of adaptating towards the books, because they could have and they should have.
Freaking
Harry
Tom
Potter,
Bombadil.
Harry Potter, that is a big, that was, I am not mad with what they cut out from the Harry Potter world compared to what they cut out of the Lord of the Rings universe.
Yeah.
So, my 2 cents. Let me know if I'm right or wrong at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. Let me know.
Let him know. Let him know.
Love to.
Yeah, yell at him. Say suck at Colton. That's what everybody else does. So let's do a little plot here. Obviously we all know Harry Potter. These stories follow a boy named Harry Potter, who is at the time, what is it 12 when he gets. Does that sound right? 12, 13.
Oh man, that's a
I don't
great
remember.
question. I
I
can't think
don't
of that
remember
right
how
now.
old he 11. He was 11. Age of 11. His parents obviously killed by Voldemort when he was just a baby. Voldemort turns him into what is called. Oh, he's not even looking at me. A Horcrux. And
Horcrux.
yep, and he is titled The Boy Who Lived. And after his parents die, he's sent off to his aunt and uncle's home to live with them, where he's living underneath a staircase in a little closet.
11.
And, yep,
You're right. I'm
yep,
sorry.
right there. You're good.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
And at the age of 11, he starts getting mail from a wizarding school because he is a wizard, and his aunt and uncle try to keep him from getting these letters. Well, Ruby's Hagrid shows up and pretty much takes him to school. And from there, it's kind of history. He goes to the school. He becomes a Gryffindor, which he was pretty much born to be a Gryffindor. It was in his blood, and both of his parents were also. And he becomes one of the world's greatest wizards in some senses, I guess, and has to fight his way through bullies and school and different things and Lord Voldemort, and eventually this figures out that he has to destroy the Horcruxes that Voldemort made to defeat him and get his life back. And it's one of those stories that, as a child, is just amazing to see, especially on the screen. Quidditch was one of those things that you watched in the movies, and you said that would be a fun sport if it could ever be real. And it was always funny down at Ball State. They had a Quidditch team,
Yeah,
and
I've seen some videos and
guys
highlights of
running
that
with
stuff.
running with broomsticks between their legs. And it actually would work out now. You can make a drone the snitch.
Ooh,
That would be awesome. You catch a drone, but
that would hurt.
well, yeah, probably, but it'd be fun. So, what is something from Harry Potter that catches your attention every time you go watch it? Is Harry Potter something you watch once a year?
Oh yeah,
What do you say? Me too.
yeah. It's up there.
seen
It's up there with Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I'm currently watching The Hunger Games. Thanks, books and nerds. Um, it's it's definitely one that you start with one, you write it out to the end, and like I said, I think it's the friendship, I think it's the loyalty, it's that stuff that really that gets me through the movies each and every time, and I just love the story. It's just the story for me that I just love so much. That's why I watch it once a year.
I always liked how the friendship between Hermione, Ron, and Harry was so real and true, right? And then you get the moments where it's dysfunctional, especially in the first movie, and then you get to Deathly Hallows Part One, the movie where him and Ron, and they're dealing with the necklace, and it's just it gets really tough for him, and then Ron ends up leaving. Goblet of Fire, him and Ron have this big spat, right? And it's they're not talking to each other, but you can tell Ron still cares. He's just disappointed, and he's giving hints to Harry and trying to help him, but also just kind of being an ass the whole time too. But um, it's nice to see from start to finish that friendship that built from the first book, and then in the end they're all still friends. They're all still hanging out. Harry marries Ron's sister, and Ron marries Hermione, and it just becomes they're just close. And it's those are the friendships that in real life you want to have too, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's always a breath of fresh air to see how real it can be, especially when you're watching a fantasy movie.
Oh yeah. Well said, brother. That was, yeah.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite character in all the Harry Potter books, movies, anything? You have a favorite
oh
character?
man, See, I books I'd go with Dumbledore, but in the movies it's Snape.
Oh, yeah.
Like the oh man, a little bit. I thought Dumbledore could have been a lot better in the movies, but they had the original Dumbledore die, and they did a great job of recasting,
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
like they did the best they could, and I'm not mad with where they went with his character, so on and so forth, because the story is not about Dumbledore, it's about Harry Potter. So, but yeah, I mean, movie wise, I mean, Alan Rickman, good lord, just
Killed the role.
prime,
Absolutely.
prime,
Rest in
fantastic.
peace.
Yeah, miss you, man. I wish, love to see what you be doing now, but we'll never know.
Yippee-ki-yay.
What about you,
Oh,
man?
that was so mean. Sorry. Man, my favorite character is it's a hard one. I mean, I so it's funny. We every Christmas, even still to this day, we have stockings, and our stockings are Hermione, Ron, and Harry. And every year, my mom has to ask us a question: Wait, whose stocking is whose? And I'm Harry, Skylar's Ron, Montana's Hermione, and um, so I would say Harry overall is one of my favorite characters because he is the hero of
Mhm.
the whole story, and you get to grow with him, and you get his ups and downs, and you get the sad moments and the happy moments, and um. But if I was to not choose one of the main three, it would be Sirius Black. And
Why's that?
oh, yeah. No, I really do. I've always enjoyed the character and him kind of being the father figure that Harry needed on top of, Dumbledore and even Snape towards the end. But um, he was always a fun character, and um, especially getting to see his story arc in um, Order of the Phoenix. Order of the Phoenix. No, Prisoner of Azkaban. Sorry, thinking
Yeah,
of
he's
it.
introduced in Prisoner Azkaban,
Yeah,
but he
seeing all that.
is a Vada and
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad,
Order of
but
the
that's okay.
Phoenix.
So we'll get to this wand. I pulled my wand off the wall earlier, and I do want to talk about that a little bit because I there's some Harry Potter stuff that I got to do last year that was really exciting. But uh, do you have a favorite villain? Favorite bad guy?
Favorite bad guy? Man, I like. I really like. I'm gonna go with Voldemort in um, Goblet of Fire. When he is resurrected and he is brought, that was my favorite Voldemort.
My
Um,
boy.
that is not Voldemort.
I know. Still,
That's my
poor Robert
son.
Patty. Robert Patty sons.
That's my son. Anywho, yeah, I just that was my favorite version of him because I felt like that's when he feels like to himself he is at the top, he is back, and this little turd is not gonna stop him from you know getting what he wants and meeting the goals he wants to meet. So
Wrong, wrong, wrong.
I
Uh,
mean, but if you're gonna go, if we're gonna do the Joffrey theory, and by going by how much you dislike somebody because of the character they played so well that you would see him on the street today and you would punch him square in the nose.
Draco.
No,
Oh, I was gonna say
not
Draco.
Draco. No, that's Professor Umbridge.
Oh God.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
You would I feel like I would see her on the
Dolores.
street. I feel like I would just see her on the street and just, want to square up with her right here and
And
say,
knock her
"Hey,
out of her pink coat.
hey, you got a problem. I think we
Yeah.
need to solve it."
Yeah.
Like, oh man, she is, yeah, just an awful, awful character.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's why I like to use the Draco, or not the Draco, the I just said it. You got me stuck on freaking Draco. You jack.
Yeah, you did say it. And I missed it.
Joffrey.
Joffrey. There you go.
Joffrey from Game of Thrones. It's the Joffrey effect. You know, that's how good she was as the villain.
Yeah.
Is that you'd see her in real life and think, you know, she is that same person.
Yeah.
Which she's probably a sweet lady.
Oh God,
I'm
probably
guessing.
the sweetest lady in the world. But she
I mean,
got pushed into playing that character, but she did it so well. You're
yeah,
right.
she did it so well. So
You're
I
right.
mean, if you're going by that, if I was to go by that standard, I would say for sure Professor Umbridge.
I love the montage. And I don't remember which movie it is, but the montage where she's now the new headmaster, and
Oh, that's the
she's
Order of the Phoenix.
yeah, she's going around and like just watching all the
Enforcing
kids.
rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's hanging up all the pictures and all the plaques and all that. And no, that's a really great montage and scene. So
Oh yeah.
my favorite villain, I would say Malfoy, just because he's one of those characters that you hate at the beginning, but he kind of redeems himself at the end a little bit.
Not a villain, brother. Not a villain.
Yeah, well, he's a antagonist and very much so a bully, and Colton hates bullies. So
So true, but you know, I never thought, even watching the movies, I never once thought that Draco was ever going to, you know, make the switch. I
they
always
tried.
felt like he, oh yeah, for sure. But even watching it, I was like, it's just not him. It's just not who he is. And you know, no matter how hard you try to be that dude, and you just won't ever be that dude. And that's exactly what I thought about. Even when, you know, you get to the Deathly Hallows, you get to mostly, you know, his evilness, so to speak, air quotes, really comes out in the Half Blood Prince.
Where he rocks Harry in the train.
Yeah.
In the train. Yeah.
And you know, even then I was like, dude, man, you're doing this for approval. Like, this is not you. Like, I never once believed that he was gonna go.
Well, and I guess you do kind of see it where he doesn't really have the balls to kill Dumbledore. I mean,
No.
he doesn't have the pure evil inside of him to do something like that.
Yeah, it's just not who he is.
So more so an antagonist over a villain, but still a good you know, person for Harry to match up against in the
Early
beginning.
on, yeah. I would agree with that.
But my second one would be Bellatrix, and
Ooh, good one.
I think she just played a really good psychopath in this movie. Just that, you know, crazy laughter of a witch and just wanting to, you know, wreak havoc on everybody, no matter what, and not being afraid just to throw wands with somebody and just kind of go at it. And
I think that's, and I don't, you're probably going to get to this, so I'm just going to get to it right now.
Go for
Because
it.
I mean, the one thing I felt like Harry Potter did so well for 95% of the time was the casting of characters. I mean, you got Gary Oldman in this thing,
Mhm.
Helen Bohannon Carter, you
Yep.
just mentioned. We just talked about Alan Rickman. I mean, 3 up and coming actors and actresses, and you know, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and what's his name? Rupert. Is that his name? Rupert
Grant.
Grint. Yeah. Like three guys, 3 people that you just wanted to see grow up, and we did.
Yeah.
You know, it just the cast that they got, and the Malfoy's dad. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, who he is, but he's an important dude. I
Yeah.
mean, the characters that they got to play the roles was just fantastic, and I think that's what really made the series, the movies, that much better, because they nailed those castings. Absolutely nailed them. I mean, heck, we even got David Tennant for a movie.
Yeah.
And he plays a great unhinged
Psychopath.
person.
Yeah.
I mean, we got young Robert Pattinson. I mean,
Which is another one of those that was like it kind of catapulted his career, and
Is a springboard. Like, I mean, just they did so well, so well with the castings. I think the one backlash that most people, I could really care less is Jenny, is that character,
yeah,
mostly because how the character was portrayed, not necessarily for looks, I believe, but you
yeah.
can't get everything right. But I mean, Rupert's Rupert, Ron's whole family, fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, and the twins and Ginny and yeah, the whole family.
Percy,
Yeah, Molly. I mean, it's just yeah,
like they just did a phenomenal job of casting in this. I mean, oh man, just I always wonder how. Man, my cord is just not cooperating. uh, I always wonder. One of the things I've always wondered is what this series, movie wise, would have been if the original Dumbledore would have been alive. Because Dumbledore, towards that end, he was moving and grooving and having to do some things.
yeah.
Like, and I'm pretty sure that dude that they he was. I think
Little on the edge. Yeah, yeah, I see that.
he'd be hurting, I think.
Yeah, I think Dumbledore de-aged a little bit. But that's okay. That's okay. They got
Dumbledore de-aged.
yeah, did a little bit of It's okay. I do.
I mean, I hate to say that they took a step forward when somebody
passed.
passed
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
But oh,
The one role, and Colton has talked about Rockstar a couple different times, and that is Timothy Spall. Timothy Spall played Peter Pettigrew, and Colton
yeah.
has watched Rockstar, and he was in that movie, and that's the first time I ever remember seeing him in a movie, and it was just like you see his face, and you're like, oh my god, that's the rat, right? Like that's the thing, like that's
Peter Pettigrew.
yes,
Peter.
yeah, Scabbers. He was Scabbers.
I mean, you're right. I mean, this the cast. We can go on and on about the
Oh, yeah.
cast and how good it is. I mean, even Mad Eye Mooney,
Mhm.
fantastic actor. I
Yeah.
mean, just they did a fantastic job of casting, and I think that just goes to show that.
Oh yeah, Robbie
I think it goes
Coltrane
to show
is
that. I think it
Hagrid.
goes to show that you can go. Yeah, you can show somebody a script or have them read the book, or if they haven't already read the book, and you ask, "Hey, I think you would be a great Sirius Black, Gary," and he's already on board. Now, do you need Gary Oldman? No, you don't, because you can find somebody else to fill that role. Gary Oldman seems like he wanted to do it, and he
Oh,
was on
he
board with it.
was awesome.
And like when you can get guys like people like that to you don't have to convince. It's just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for thinking of me being in this role or this part, this,
Yeah.
that, and the other. Like how awesome is that? That's the material you're working with. Like you don't have to convince them or do the what's that called? You show them like their star scene or their one scene. You give an actor and actress one scene of the script that is their like the one that gets them to get the role, to do the role.
Oh,
Like you just don't.
when they actually go in and do like their tests and stuff when they're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah, it's man. I just it's just great. I can't say enough good things about it.
yeah. I completely agree. I mean, these movies are we use the term rewatchable because these movies are rewatchable. Like Colton and I said, we watch them once a year. There's no, I mean, and you don't feel like when you watch these movies you're wasting any time. You're watching them and you're enjoying them. You can have them on in the background. You can, you hear that intro music to Harry Potter and you are in and you're ready. And
Oh man, yeah. John Williams.
yes,
How awesome is it to get John Williams to do the first three movies?
yep. Yeah, and just it's one of those things. We grew up with it. It was kind of one of our um It's funny. You hear people talk about how they weren't allowed to watch it because of
Hmm.
the magic and the wizards and all that stuff, and um, but now a lot of people do watch them because they're becoming a cult classic at this point. I mean, that's the only
I
way
mean,
to go about
it's
it.
if you think about it, it's our generation's Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
You talk to your dad about going to his entire Star Wars memories and knowledge, like going to the movies and what it meant for everybody around, and that's the same thing for us, man, because we
yeah,
grew up with it.
yep, yeah.
I
I agree.
mean,
I'm I'm sure I saw most of the Harry Potters in theaters. I just don't remember if I saw the first. I wouldn't have. I don't remember. Can't remember if I saw Sorcerer's Stone or Chamber of Secrets, but I'm sure I did. And there's certain things I remember. I mean, we Claire's the the little girl's store that they go to
oh
buy
yeah.
jewelry and stuff. They had so many Harry Potter promotions, like the little gems the stones you could get that had pictures in them, and you look through the little sight glass and you could see, Harry, Ron, Hermione, whoever. And they always had Harry Potter themed things, and it was we would go there. It was right next to Sam Goody in Warsaw. We'd go to Sam
Oh,
Goody and look at all the cool stuff there, and then we'd run over to Claire's and get Harry Potter stuff. And um, we grew up with it. It was fun. And it still is. And it's gonna be forever movies that I will watch as many times as I can because they're just enjoyable. And maybe you're right. Maybe I should one day go back and listen to the books. I'm not gonna read a hard copy. I will listen. I will definitely listen. Imagine if they got like Rupert Grint to read them, or somebody like just one of the actors just go back through and
I don't
narrate.
think I don't think it's because I was actually looking at books too, because I've kind of got that itch to do another book,
Mhm.
because we've been sitting on Lord of the Rings for like ever, it seems like, and I think I was looking at what was I looking at? It might have been the snakes and the new Hunger
Oh
Games book,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I just don't know if I care too much about that.
Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah, I don't know if I care too much about that storyline because I don't know. I'm just weird maybe that way. But Harry, as I'm doing this, oh,
Let's see.
Jim Dale. Jim Dale's the one who does the narration.
Okay, I'm assuming probably British
I'm
or
assuming,
English.
and I believe he has a very good reputation as a voiceover actor, because I was really gonna do the Hunger Games book, but every review I saw said that the person who did the narration on it was
Wasn't good.
trash. And I'm just like, I'm so scared. And I think we brought it up with Chris the last time we talked to him about, the audiobook thing. I mean, we are spoiled. Man. Our first audiobooks
Oh
we
yeah.
listened to
Yep. Yes, for
was
sure.
Lord of the Rings. And
Um, I'm almost there. Just so you know, I'm almost there, and I'm almost ready to talk about those books and the movies
oh,
because
dude,
it.
I'm ready.
So
I'm ready
good.
now.
Yes, we'll get there.
I also think our guest for that is about ready.
Okay. All right. So push it
So
out. We'll push it out.
we should probably get that one on the books.
Yes, we should. So I do have one more thing to talk about before we get out of here,
What
and
do you got? What do you got,
that
brother?
is Universal and
Hmm.
the Wizarding World. Um, I just want to say that if you are down in Orlando and you are spending a day or a week at Disney, take the time and go over to Universal for a day and go check out Wizarding World and do the rides. We only were able to do one. It stormed that day, so we got in and it stormed and the power went out, and so they had to shut down the ride. So we were stuck, and we were stuck in line, and they're like, "Well, it'll be this long of a wait." And then we were there for so long before they said, "Yeah, it's gonna be shut down for longer than we think." So we had to backtrack out of the line and leave. But we did get to do the one Hagrid ride, and it was a blast. And I will say, walking in and seeing the castle, humongous castle, um, was amazing. It blew my mind. Got to do the wand thing. Got to go in and pick my wand. I did get Lupin's wand because I always enjoyed Lupin as a character. Um, but it was one of those experiences that I think everybody should have at least once, and just to go do it at least, yeah, one time. Um, but yeah, it was a great experience. Universal sucks. I hate Universal. I never. I know a lot of people love Universal, and I need to try it again. But I will say, Wizarding World was 100% worth it, and you should go check it out. And that's all I got. Anything else you want to say about HB?
Ah, man, I just can't say enough how I just love this story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't really care about anything they do before or after. It's just not. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to hit the same. It won't ever be the same. They will never recatch this lightning in a bottle that Harry caught on his forehead. And um, yeah, I just, I think it's too soon because they're already pushing this stuff out, wanting to add to it, and just, if we could just take a moment and listen and look and watch and see what Disney has done to the MCU and start applying that to other franchises, it needs a moment to breathe. It needs to you just can't rush these things, and
Yeah.
they don't care. They want to make money. They need to make money. They have to make, whatever millions upon millions of dollars they need to make in order to, be able to function in life. And it just frustrates me that they're already touching and messing with the Harry Potter universe. And I just think it just goes to show where we're at in the Hollywood world, where especially with the strikes, the writer strikes, and now the actors are really helping out there, and it's 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 in a bad place. Movies are in a bad place.
Yeah.
Um, I say this all the time, especially with my sports teams. If you really want to stick it to them, don't go to the games and don't watch the games. And that's exactly what needs to happen with the movies. As much as we love them, like nothing is going to change because unless we stop watching and stop going.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna keep doing this. And I think Disney's figured it out that, hey, this MCU stuff, this ain't it anymore. Oh, I now the real question is, do they know why it sucks? Probably not, but they probably just
She-Hulk.
think
Sorry,
they probably
I
just
coughed.
I mean, they probably just think it's it's Marvel, it's superhero. Yeah, of course it's gonna be good. Like
Yeah, people are gonna come if you build it, they will come. I mean,
exactly.
that's
And
their mindset right now.
it's just not that way anymore. You can't do that. You just can't put one dude on the billing and expect it to carry anymore. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
It's not built that way.
most scripts anymore, the guy comes in and he accidentally uses his toilet paper in the bathroom to sit, let's sit on the table. And yeah, that's actually what I wrote, not my crap. So,
I mean,
um,
that's I'm just frustrated. Just frustrated. Um, I think maybe it's because this series does have a little bit, close to my heart because I feel like I did grow up with them,
yeah,
and what they were going through during like the school years of Hogwarts felt like what I was going through with during school and stuff like that. Like, that relatability, and now they're changing it and they want to do stuff to make things with the times, and it's a shame.
yeah,
It's a shame.
shame.
I hope they I hope they're able I hope they're able to add to it the correct way.
Yeah, not in a negative way, not in a way that's gonna make us like I don't know. I don't. I hope they don't ruin it with what they're gonna do. And I know that I've read some things about them recasting and keeping certain characters, like the main three, keeping them, and then recasting other characters and doing certain other things. But I don't know. I just want it. I want it to be good. Daniel Radcliffe is fun as an actor, and he's done some really fun stuff. And I mean, Rupert Grint was in Lego House. Is that the Ed Sheeran song that he was in the video?
I think so.
Yeah, that's a great video. If anybody's hasn't ever watched it, go watch Lego House Ed Sheeran, and it's really good. And then you don't hear a whole lot from Emma, and I wish we heard more from her. I think she was a great actress, especially as a Hermione, and I'd just like to see more. But yeah, Harry Potter.
Yeah, man. Hey, let us know what you guys think about it.
Yeah.
At the callguyspodcast at gmail.com. Love to
Do
get
you
your opinions. Love to get your thoughts.
do you watch it
Yeah.
once a year?
Yeah. Is it, or do you think it's just a trash franchise? Let us know why. You know, Gunnar would love to drive to your house and have a sternly worded conversation with you about
I
how
will
you are wrong.
tape you to a chair, tape your eyes open, and make you watch them until you love them. You can hate me, but you're gonna love Harry Potter.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh my. No, man. I mean, that's it. That's all I got, man. Just
Yeah, it's a beautiful series. I if you for some reason never seen Harry Potter, please go watch it and let us know what you think.
yes, please.
It's
Yeah.
it's fun, and it's a family thing, and you watch it with your family, watch it with your kids, and look at that. Colton's pointing them out. He's got them all right there.
They're in the front row for a reason.
All what, 7 of them? All 7. All right.
Oh yeah.
Anything else? Nothing else? You sure?
I don't think so, man. Am I missing something?
I don't think so.
Okay, man.
I think you're good. I do want to say that I want to give these guys a mention because Chris has been on this podcast
Mm.
multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
And he loves the thought of podcasting, and we love podcasting, and I'm so proud of him to go out and get 2 of his buddies and come out with the Guys with Issues podcast. If you listen to them, they released their first 4 episodes,
In
and
the last 2 weeks.
yes, and they're doing a great job. It's amazing. They're a comic book podcast. They every one of their episodes is called Issues, and that's because you get your comic books and issues. You can send them emails to longbox at the guyswithissues.com. If you go listen to them, let them know what you think of him, because he's done a lot for us, and he's been on here with us, and he's enjoyed talking, and it just helps snowball him into having his own podcast. And yeah, go check him out. If you listen to episode 2, listen for them mention us.
Yeah, Chris. What is it going to take to get the call guys on the Guys with Issues? Because
it won't take much, trust me. Just get on there. Just show up.
oh,
Walk
my.
into Pat's house. Hey, Pat, how's it going? We're gonna hang out.
Hiya, Pat.
Yeah. No, but they're doing a great job, and I'm really enjoying it. So congrats to them on getting their release finally. And yeah, if you listen to their episodes, they were recorded back in February, March, April. So it's fun to go back and hear them talking about snow. But no, yeah, thank you everybody for listening to Call Guys Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to go check us out on YouTube every Monday. We do release every single time we release on all your favorite podcast sites. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Let us know if you're watching. You can also rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We have quite a few 5-star reviews, so we'd like to keep adding up on there. So please review on there, Apple Podcast, Spotify. You can go check us out on all your favorite social media sites, whether that be Facebook, facebook.com/thecallguyspod, Instagram at the Call Guys Podcast, and TikTok at the Call Guys. No, Instagram at the Call Guys and TikTok at the Call Guys Podcast. My brain hurts from doing 4 podcasts in 2 nights, and I'm ready for bed.
All right.
As Colton mentioned earlier, you can send us an email, thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com, if you want to let us know what you think of Harry Potter. If you want to send us your lists from our previous episodes, if you want to recommend the question of the pod or I forgot the question of the pod.
You did.
I forgot it, and I had it in my notes, and I didn't have it in my notes up this whole time, but we'll save it for next week.
Dang. Okay.
And I'm sad. I missed the question. Of the
Wow,
pod.
that's two. That's
I'm
two
sorry.
episodes
I'm
with no
sorry.
question of the pod.
I'm sorry, everybody. Well, hey, anybody that's going to email us this week, if you're listening to this right now and you're saying I want to email the Call Guys podcast about Harry Potter, send us your recommendation along with that for the question of the pod next episode, and we will add it into that episode. I'll nix the one I was going to ask tonight, and we'll just go with yours. So yeah, send us an email, callguyspodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to go check out the website, goldenmojoent.com, where you can find cool merch and get all of your other podcasts from the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. All those podcasts include the Golden Image Podcast, the Murdnerds, A Court of Books and Booze, the United States of Paranormal, the Golden 80s Podcast, and the Golden Image Podcast. You can check out all those podcasts. Just click on them on the website and go to all of them. You can find them anywhere you get your podcasts, same as us. So, Colton, anything else?
Love you, brother.
I love this. By the way, if you do get a wand while you are at the Wizarding World at Universal, it has this little sensor on the top of it, and you can walk up to things and do little motions, and it'll make things move and do things. It's freaking awesome. A little interactive while walking around the Wizarding World. So,
Oh my.
all right. Love you too, brother. Everybody out there in podcast land. See you next time.
Later.
Bye.